Hi, and welcome back to Tierra Querida. Today, I want to share with you some important information when it comes to parking at Stevens Pass. Over the years that I have been going to Stevens Pass, there have been some changes. Specifically, the biggest change that I have seen is when it comes to parking. When I first started going to Stevens Pass, it was a first come, first serve when it came to parking. Of course, if you got there early, you would get first dibs when it came to the preferred parking. And of course, that was always so wonderful because I didn't have to worry about parking super far away and having to carry all of my equipment. But for the 2024-2025 ski season, they have implemented reserved parking, and that is for all but one lot that will still continue to run as a first come, first serve, and they will provide a shuttle to get you from lot D, which is about 2 miles down from the entrance of the mountain resort, to the parking space. Reservations will be required for very specific dates, which I will put here on the screen, and also on any peak days. That includes weekends and any major holiday, as most people are off or trying to take advantage of that time to go and ski. I will also leave it in the description so that you don't forget any holidays and you can use that as a reference to look back to on this video. Also, another great thing about the reservation system is that if you do like to plan ahead, then you'll be able to have up to 5 reservations for the season active in one account. So if you want to go every weekend, you can always get those reservations ahead of time. Unfortunately, if you are a single rider, you will have to pay the $20, the same as another vehicle that has the 3 riders per vehicle, as they only give you free parking if you are a car with 4 or more people, just to kind of help reduce some of that congestion going up to the mountain and try to encourage people to do carpooling. The kind of downside to that is that sometimes your schedules just don't align with other people, especially if you live by yourself or you're the only one in your family that enjoys the sport. This can be an added expense to an already expensive sport. Now, regardless of whether or not you are a single rider, 3 people, or 4 people, you do not want to wait until the day before or night before or the day of to get a reservations, because more than likely it will be sold out and you will be forced to go to lot D and hope that there is an open parking spot for you. Unfortunately for me, I flew in and didn't have my schedule locked in, so I didn't want to pay for a parking spot that I was not going to use. So I just hoped for the best and decided to go for the free first come first serve parking lot, which thankfully we managed to get a spot, but it was a little bit hectic. The shuttle is relatively small, so they get full really fast. They don't have any space outside to hold your equipment, so everybody's all bundled up inside the shuttle. And for me, I thought that the driver was going a little bit too fast for conditions, and so I ended up sliding back when he took off to the person behind me, and I of course apologized. They were cool, but another person may not be so cool. So it's unfortunate that they have not reinvested some of that money to go towards bigger shuttles, or having a shuttle that has the outside racks for you to hold your equipment so you're not all crammed up in there. If you're a visual person, I will link in the description a link to the mountain map so you know where all the parking spots are and you know how far it will be from the entrance of the mountain. Recently, Stevens Pass uploaded a post on what they intend to do for the next season, which is the 2025-2026 season, when it comes to parking. And a lot of people were still really upset about the fact that season pass holders do not have that, say 5 free parking days. And I say free because it's not really free. You would have already technically paid for it, which I think is a lot better than having to pay for a season pass and then on top of that adding more additional fees for like parking. And while this is normal in other parking resorts like say Breckenridge, the difference is that in Breckenridge there is a good amount of parking, I guess relatively good amount compared to this resort. With Stevens, it is limited in some ways. They, have quite a few parking spaces, but they're far away and they're not walkable like they are, say, in like Whistler or Breckenridge. So that's just, in my opinion, I think that's something that maybe they can work towards building and making it bigger, or just providing more shuttles with proper space for the amount of people that do get to visit this mountain. Like I mentioned, this is an already expensive sport. So these little things that can add up, for those that maybe perhaps get to go once a year, or they get to go a couple more times, but it still adds an extra layer of expense. I mean, you're already having to pay to get there. Maybe you want to have a cup of coffee or something nice to just mid break. It kind of sucks that you have to pay for parking. If you look at the map, there's really not a whole lot to do while you wait for, say, someone that perhaps didn't show up to the paid parking and they released that parking spot. So, as you can probably understand, a lot of people are upset about this paid parking because even though, yeah, from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m., they will hold those spaces, and after that, they release them again. You never know what the conditions will be going up the mountain, and there's nowhere for you to kind of just wait. You either have to go all the way up to Leavenworth or come back down. And, that can create some traffic jams and make it a little bit more chaotic than it already is. So, to me, I think a great option would be for them to give season pass holders a free parking amount of days, or they can just add more shuttles. Or another thing that would be good would be for a kind of network of shuttles from the neighboring towns to get to the mountain, and have some parking there that's just specifically for those park and ride folks, so they don't have to worry about perhaps getting towed from a business, or getting towed from the side of the road or whatnot, because it does happen. So I think just more flexibility on their end, on more options other than just you can only pay or you can hope for the best and get a parking spot. If you have other ideas on a better solution for this parking situations at Stevens Pass, make sure you comment on their Facebook page, send them an email, or just communicate what your thoughts are, because they are listening, and I think that everyone's voices should be heard. Make sure that you comment down below if you have any other ideas that perhaps, if you're not willing to share, I can definitely share them for you. All right, that's it. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.